What is going on, all my favorite internet weirdos, or as you're more commonly known, my great viewers to play later? How are we today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is when you're watching this one right here. Oh, we're going back down that Warmachine rabbit hole. All right. As you know by that thumbnail, everything else you clicked on to get here, yeah, we're going to kind of talk about the Cygnar Brickhouse Heavy Warjack, which is kind of like a character Warjack all on its own, right? We'll get into all that here in a moment. But you know how we have to do things, right? We've got to get the adulting out of the way before we can play. So first up is a word from our unofficial sponsor.
So there I was, 23 years old, prime of my life. I woke up one morning, looked in the mirror, and my hair was thinning. It was all falling out. It wasn't until I discovered this one solution that changed everything. My first initial thought was, it's gotta be genetics, right? It's not my fault, this is genetic. Go and find out. I'm not the only one dealing with thinning hair and confidence issues. And it was nuts because we started to change everything in our routine.
We started looking at what we were putting in our bodies, what we were eating, how much water we were intaking, and then we started working out and taking care of ourselves, but still something was missing.
But also what we put on our body is drastically important to our skin and hair health. So we ditched all of those chemical filled products. We started using healthy, organic ingredients and took it upon myself to start creating these organic ingredient products to help people. I have a solution for you. Ditch all of those chemical filled products and grab something that's organic, natural, handmade, something that your family will thank you and your health will thank you. Make the switch today.
Guys, great man, great company, seriously. Made here in the USA, veteran owned. You really want to check them out. Click that link right down below. It's going to bring you right to his web store. And do not forget to abuse the ever-loving beep out of that viewer exclusive discount code. Okay, I'm not going to put a price down below because I want you to go out, I want you to look for the best deal that you possibly can. I found mine on Amazon, but there's always a catch to everything, right? So, this is when Privateer Press still had control of the Warmachine IP, as you can see right there. This is the time frame where they were going into metal and resin miniatures. So this one is kind of a hybrid. I was happy I got the card in there with it, but I really would have liked some kind of instructions or somewhere to find it online how to put it together. Overall, it was really easy to kind of figure out. It's resin, so you really had to cut away some of the studs that were on there for like the casting molds. It caused some problems in the arms, which really made me upset. Thankfully, there really wasn't any breakage when I had to cut those out. I've had some with Forge World, especially with my Custodes Force, where you're trying to cut out a shoulder pauldron and snap right in the middle. You got that weird little V shape every freaking time. But okay. So, here's the miniature. It's big, it's bad, it's imposing. It's supposed to be. And it looks like I didn't clean up something properly, so thank God I haven't primed it yet. As you can see, it is a neat combo between the two. Now, like I said, in the little arm ball sockets trying to cut into that thing, it left a big hunk of like a rectangle right there that you really couldn't get in and get good at. So I had to take some green stuff, ball it up, put a little bit of super glue down there, put the green stuff in and smush it up into the top to get it to hold in place. Thankfully, I didn't overdo it on the green stuff, so everything blended in perfectly. The one thing that I really would have liked for the instructions are my lower torso. It's on backwards. It is. Now, this is pretty much all I had to go on with putting it together. All right. So, not paying attention to the little gold piece down there, which would have been that right there on the back. What I noticed was like a weird little emblem right there. So I'm like, okay, you're on the front. So basically, my brick house is turned around backwards. I didn't have a problem really connecting the legs. I just let them sit for a little while. It also makes me really wonder, is Gorilla Glue gel more inferior to Zap-A-Gap? Because I remember way back in the day when I was doing miniatures, like the metal miniatures from Privateer Press, all I had was Zap-A-Gap. And yeah, I was one of those idiots like, okay, I lick one piece and super glue on the other, and boom, instant bonding. Don't like the super glue. Okay, just don't. I said I like the other side, not the super glue. The Gorilla Glue gel for the resin worked really, really well. But trying to get some pieces from the resin to the metal, that took me a little bit. And it also got me wondering, were we just more patient way back when working with miniatures than we are now? Because I know with some plastic stuff, it's just like, boom, you put it together, let it sit for a sec, you're done. You can walk away in about 2 seconds flat. With some of these, I had to hold it for a good 5 minutes and go, okay, you're kind of stable. Let's get the next leg on there. All right, let's get you standing up. All right, wait a bit. Okay, now we're going to glue you to the base and leave you overnight. This was a 2-day build for me, just because I really wanted things to set and be there. I like the fact it's a character Warjack, so if you have Beth Maddox in your force, he is bonded to her. And I got to get more into that vibe and figure out why, because that's one of the things I loved about Privateer Press. They would give you incredible backstories on things, but yeah. It came basically in your standard little box with the usual, plastic insert, and the only spare piece I had was that one that was supposed to be there. I got it because before I got too far into things, they were like, if you can find older stuff, you can still use it. Yeah, but I didn't realize you can't use it in a current themed force on the app. You have to use a legacy force. And that means you've got to get everything from before from Privateer Press, and you cannot include any of the stuff from before in your current miniatures. I may have that wrong, but I understand there's people out there who are going to tell me something incredibly different, but that's all right. One of the biggest reasons I wanted him was that repulsor blast from his hand, like doing the whole Iron Man. So I thought that was pretty awesome. I mean, he is a big guy. He's going to be fun to paint. Lately, with how I've been doing it, with spraying everything in Lead Belcher from Games Workshop, giving it my coat of Army Painter Nolan Oil knockoff, which is Gravelord Gray Speed Paint, and Speed Paint Medium 50-50 mix. Well, not 50. 70-30? It's like 10 drops to 5 drops medium. Whatever that equates. Somebody do math for me. Me not good at math this morning. I wanted to just talk about how they were doing. See, like, okay, right there. You can kind of see I got to clean it up a little bit more. There's a piece that was staying off, for the mold lines. And there was another piece, like, right over there. But other than that, most of the stuff for the mold lines are underneath and internal, so you really can't see them. And I'm kind of okay with that. It just made things a little bit easier. But, sorry, I felt that coming. Excuse me. All right, let's do this. I'm going to get to that part. We're at the best part of the video. Seriously, we really, really, truly are. I want to know your questions, comments, love, hatred, and anger. All that fun stuff right down below. Biggest thing I want to ask you guys who are currently involved in Mark IV, how do you think Steamforged Games is treating everything? Are they handling the IP great? Are they doing things a little bit better than Privateer did? Look, I understand Privateer was one of the premier companies way back when and could have toppled Games Workshop, but they stepped on their dick. That's the only way I can put it. They stepped on it, they screwed up, and they could never ever recover, in my opinion, from what I have been reading. I like the fact you can take things from Privateer and still use it in the current, the current version of the game. The biggest complaint I have, you can't take Steamforged models and mix them with Privateer models. You cannot make a 100-point list of whatever you want, or 30-point, or 50-point, or whatever. You have to have their themed forces, which makes me go, why? Just let me create my own. The beauty of Warmachine is the synergy between your Warcaster and your Warjacks. That's always been the great thing in the game for me. But still, do you have this guy in your force? How do you feel it operates? Does he operate really, really well with Beth Maddox? Because I've looked at her stats and went, what the? But that's just me, right? Okay, best way to support the channel is hit that big old thumbs up and drop me a comment down below. I would really love to know your thoughts on the current rounds of Warmachine. But there we go, guys. My quick, weird look at, Cygnar's Brickhouse by Privateer Press. I want to thank you guys for watching this one. Hopefully you're having a great day today. Hopefully you're having a safe day today. And Emperor willing, one day, real soon, we'll be rolling dice across that tabletop.